Hello and welcome back to Flow Felts. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to needle felt an Among Us crewmate. If you don't know what Among Us is, where have you been? It's basically a game where you are either a crewmate or an imposter. The crewmates have to try to do tasks or vote off the imposter, while the imposter has to try and kill all the crewmates. I think it's pretty fun, although playing online isn't the best. It's much better to play with friends, because I find online a lot of people tend to just vote randomly or not really play properly, which gets quite annoying sometimes. Anyway, let's get on with the video, where I am going to show you how to needle felt an Among Us crewmate with a mini-me pet and a mini-me hat, because they're my favourite pets and hat. So first of all, pick what colour wool you're going to use. I'm choosing to do the red crewmate. Take a handful of wool and start stabbing it so that it begins to clump together. Don't worry too much about the shape yet, as that will come later. As the density of the wool increases, begin to shape it into a rounded cuboid. In order to get a good quality result, make sure you stab until the wool is incredibly dense and firm. This will ensure that it cannot come apart. As the shape becomes clearer, begin to stab a line down the middle of one of the ends of the cuboid. This is where you'll begin the legs. Here you can see I am squeezing the figure to test the density and also to push it into shape. Doing this will not mean it keeps that shape forever, it just makes it easier to keep it in shape while you're stabbing it to permanently secure that shape. Here you can see I am defining the gap between the legs more. Now take some more wool and add it to each leg individually. This part can be a little tricky, and I continually adjusted the legs throughout the rest of the piece. Just stick with it and eventually you will get a shape that you are happy with. Now I'm going to take more wool and add it to the body to increase density and patch the shape. Whoa, hang on a minute. I'm just going to continue to bulk up the shape and increase the length of the legs. Remember to keep stabbing until it's nice and dense. So it seems I lost some footage here somehow. So I don't have footage of making the face. So you'll have to wait until I make the face bit bigger for that tutorial. Now I'm going to start on the backpack. For this, just take a smaller piece of wool than you did at the start and begin to form another rounded cuboid, just like we did before. I continue to add wool like before to increase the density and to bulk up the shape until it's the right size. Okay, where is all my footage going? All I did here was felt a rounded cuboid and attach it to the back. You'll see a mini version later. At this point, it's just refining the body shape, securing the backpack and lengthening the legs. As you might be able to tell, I had a little bit of trouble with the legs. Legs are never my strong point when it comes to felting figures. Whoops, it seems I accidentally managed to stab through the body and out of the blue, which made some red felt come out where the blue is. It's not too much of a problem. I'm going to carry on lengthening the legs and come back to the face later. Right, now to fix that face. Let's see, what can we do with this? I'm going to section off the red and use my clippers to cut it flush against the rest of the wool. Now it looks like he has some sort of weird piercing. I'm going to stab some of the red inwards a bit just to hide it a little more. But then we're going to cover it up with more of that blue wool. The thing is, I don't actually have that colour of blue wool. So what I do is I take some white wool. I have these solid textile dyes from a global shop called Tiger, or Flying Tiger. I'm going to use the blue one to lightly colour white wool. I have used this method multiple times before, and I would highly recommend getting yourself a set of these solid textile dyes. Just rub a bit of the dye onto the wool and then rub it in. This is a really cheap and easy way to get a small amount of a specific colour of wool you need. This way, all you need is a large bag of white wool and you'll be set to do any small projects. Now I'm going to take the blue that I just made and patch up that red section. It was around this point when I decided I wanted the face to stick out more anyway. So after I finished patching the red section, I took a little bit more white and coloured it blue once again. Make sure to thoroughly rub it through the wool to make sure there aren't any random clumps of more concentrated colour. Unless that's something you want, of course, but I wouldn't recommend it for this character. Now, do not make the mistake that I made here. I forgot to wipe down my desk before placing the piece back onto it. That meant I ended up with residue of the blue on the back of the piece. I was able to rub it off and it wasn't too much of a problem, but you might not be so lucky, so remember, always wipe down the desk after using these textile dyes. We don't want any colour contamination. Pretty much all I did to create the face is just build up some blue wool onto the correct area until it formed a bulge. This was probably the easiest part of the piece to make because it is such a simple shape. That's hard to say. Such a simple shape, such a simple shape, such simple shape, such simple blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm done being silly. I'll be serious now. I promise. This is when I realised my mistake of not wiping down my desk. Now I'm going to add the highlight by just taking a little bit of white and stabbing it into the face where the highlight would be. After I finished recording, I decided to add the shadow on the face as well. All I did for that was take the blue dye and rub it onto the bottom of the face. You will see that in the picture of the end result. I then decided I needed to put a little bit more blue around the edge, so that's what I'm doing here. I use the multi-needle tool to push the body into shape because it does a much better job at pushing large areas of wool around. This video is getting a bit too long, so stay tuned on my channel for part 2 where I will make the hat and pet. See you there!